We're giving you a little extra slice of PewterPirates.com, everybody. A post-practice report. I'm Mike Nabors along with Roy Cummings. Boy, the thunder outside gives us new appreciation for this indoor facility, doesn't it?
Yeah, we really do. This is a great facility, and this is what it was meant for. Days like today where they get pretty much run off the field by the lightning strikes early on. They were only out on the field for maybe not even an hour, I would say, today. Spent most of the workout in here. But you know what? As I said before, I think they get some of their best work done in here. I think this facility is really going to save these guys come fourth quarter of games, fourth quarter of the season. That's when it matters most, man. I think that's when it's going to pay off.
And selfishly, from a media standpoint, a lot of the players don't want to walk across in the rain, so they have to actually do extra interviews, which is nice for us too.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the players during the game, during the practice. A lot of red zone drills, but I noticed even before that, Jameis Winston finding Deshaun Jackson on a nice deep ball. He just looks more accurate this camp. I know it's early, but he looks more accurate.
He really does. And you know what? If you go back and look at it, the last 5 games last year when he came back, he was playing his best football, maybe of his career. His passer rating, he had 3 games in that stretch there, those last 5 games, where his passer rating was over 100. He ended up with a 99.6 passer rating for that whole 5-game stretch at the end. And then the other day in Miami, it was more of the same. Yeah. I mean, very accurate with his throws, hitting checkdowns when the opportunity was there, smarter with the football, and just overall a better passer overall. And that's what we're seeing in this camp. And today, you saw the ability to hit that big play again. So he's still got that, but to me, he looks like a smarter quarterback. Now, what's going to happen when when everything starts happening and they get the real bullets start flying? Hopefully the same thing, because he did it last year. But right now, he looks very sharp.
We have a lot coming up on PewterPirates.com. We're going to have a few Extra Bucs podcasts, which we have twice a week during training camp. We'll have a lot of takes there about what happened in the Bucs' first preseason game. But let's get a few of your thoughts. I thought all 3 quarterbacks looked really good in that game.
They really did. And that's, talk about a bonus. I mean, that's a bonus, because there's concern about Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, you don't have your number 1 quarterback for those first 3 games. But if Ryan Fitzpatrick can play the way he did in that game, you're going to really like what you get out of these Buccaneers. Right. This is a team that can score a lot of points. They just have to be smart with the football, and that's what Ryan Fitzpatrick was. You know, this guy, he could scramble. You know, he's got this spare tire.
Nimble, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, he's got a spare tire around his gut, but, much like us. But at the end of the day, the guy can get out and move, right. I mean, he's a very smart quarterback. Right. And
maybe if he shaved the beard, he'd be even faster.
He probably would. I think that wind resistance is, I'm going to talk to him about that. I'm going to say, you know what, if you're going to keep running like that, you're going to have to shave the beard, because the wind resistance is slowing you down. You can turn these, 8 yards runs into 14, 15-yard runs.
Defensively, you talked about this in podcast and in our coverage here on PewterPirates.com. Boy, Jason Pierre-Paul got a lot of flack for missing OTAs from some of the media, maybe some of the fans. But I'm watching out here, even in the indoor facility, if it's indoors, if it's outdoors, the guy plays hard every rep.
Mike, I've been saying since training camp began, since I first came out here, I watched Jason Pierre-Paul during a workout in training camp, and I see a guy who's playing as hard for a training camp down as he would for a down in the fourth quarter of a game in November. And I mean, the guy is just working hard. A lot of these guys are working hard. He's working harder than anybody, and it's really showing up. It didn't show up much in the game the other night, but I don't think they were running a whole lot of stuff. It was really kind of a vanilla defense, so to speak. But at the end of the day, this guy's really working it, and that's what you like to see, especially out of a player that you picked up from the offseason. They have a lot to learn. Sometimes they're trying to get to know new guys and things like that. But he's playing hard. Hopefully that carries over into the season. I can't imagine it won't.
One thing we're going to delve into are a few Extra Bucs Pewter Pirates podcast. I always get a kick out of overreaction preseason reaction after the first game. But I think the one exception may be the kicker, because this franchise has really been plagued since Matt Bryant left, maybe the curse of Matt Bryant. They haven't had that consistent kicker. And Catanzaro missing an extra point, missing a long field goal, and he's known for having that strong leg. I know it's only one preseason game, but if you're a Bucs fan, you got to be thinking, are we ever going to get a kicker who's consistent at all?
It's what I wrote on my observations for after the game, which were on PewterPirates.com, and I just said, here we go again. Here's a guy, Chandler Catanzaro last year made every extra point he tried, 29 to 29. His area of concern, as we talked about before, is that 40 to 49 range. That's where he usually has his trouble. 12 to 17 there last year. And he missed again this year. So you miss a field goal attempt to seal the game. I understand it was a long one, but you miss a field goal attempt to seal the game. That's not good. You miss a PAT, put your team a little bit in the behind the 8 ball to begin with. That's not good. It's just you start to wonder, is this team cursed at that position or what? I mean, did Matt Bryant put a curse on this team? I'm still starting to figure out if he did.
It appears that way, maybe.
Yeah.
Finally, before I let you go, my friend, let's talk about this training camp for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have the nice indoor facility, and that's really created a lot more, I think, quality work for this team, especially if you don't want to practice in the rain, you can come in here. And sometimes the heat gets in the way. I know everybody wants to toughen these guys up, but the fact is sometimes that affects these players. No Hard Knocks cameras. You have the indoor facility. How can that help this team moving forward now?
Well, the focus is on football. It's not on, what are we doing today for Hard Knocks? Are they going to see me? What's this, No matter what you say, that is a distraction, because in your head as a player, even though you're trying to concentrate on football, you know that thing's going on. And, maybe you're sometimes concerned about, hey, did they catch me saying this to this guy? And maybe I don't want to see that and things like that. Everybody's concentrating on football. And also, they're really working for something. Last year, there was a feeling around here, a little bit of a feeling of entitlement. Everybody had this team. They were the darling team of the NFL. Everybody thought they were going to the playoffs. I think the Buccaneers honestly kind of took that and said, hey, you know what? All we got to do is show up and play. That's not the case. They're working harder at it this year. And this indoor facility, it helps because, like I said, you get really good work in. And today they needed it because they're really thin. I mean, this team is injuries are starting to catch up to this team. So even on a day like today, getting outside, in from the outside on a hot day, rainy day, is good because when you're really thin at cornerback in particular, like they are now. I mean, Justin Evans was working nickel corner today. That's how thin they are at the cornerback spot. True. They're thin at right tackle. They're thin at corner. This is a way to save those guys and still get good work in. So this is really benefiting them, and I think overall the camp has been a lot sharper camp than what we saw last year.
Well, I hope this kind of great insight benefits you. We're going to call this our extra slice, a little extra for you. Bucs practice recap here in the indoor facility. The rain has subsided. We're going to go indoors and tape a few extra Bucs podcasts, so kind of a doubleheader for you. Listen to our podcast later. And of course, you're checking out our video right now. We appreciate it. Tell your friends, tell your family, pewterpirates.com. Please subscribe. Our subscriptions are free, and we're adding a lot of coverage in this training camp, and that will continue during the regular season. From my man Roy Cummings, I'm Mike Nabors. Thanks for checking us out.